22.
No, because I remember when they did that because they was running those summer episodes because there was really no their time slot. They wasn't up against anything.
I'm saying nothing.
So
they never got
again going to the unauthorized biopic. They went from nobodies to household names like overnight, and this was before the internet and stuff like that. So it was like
they were doing mall tours.
They were doing the mall tours and stuff like that.
Yes.
And there's a part now you believe what you want. But as the guys got older, or actually we'll say the whole cast, as the cast got older, not only were they dating each other in real life as on the show, they would date in real life because Lisa and Zach, well, Lard Voorhees and Mark Gosler, they were dating from the very beginning. Like Good Morning Miss Bliss, they were like holding hands and stealing kisses and stuff like that. And they were dating secretly throughout the series. Well, then when it got to be so many of everybody kind of switching and stuff like that, then they started dating like he started really, okay, if you believe the stories, everybody was mixing in except for Screech was out.
Oh, yeah. He was younger. He was younger there. Like
that's how he started getting into drinking and drugs, and he was doing other shit, and leaving Dirty Sanchez's on bitches and shit like that.
Nothing better to do, so fuck it. Yeah.
Let me wipe my butt. Oh God, that's gross.
Yeah. So like that was happening. That was a thing.
But apparently he's got a huge hog though.
10 inches every time he goes to take a shit. Drops in the water. That's what he said. Splat.
I know what that's like.
I gotta wrap mine up. But going back to what I was saying, when you got so many of these kids, and as they got older, there were also misunderstandings because AC Slater, also known as Mario Lopez, had a
bachelor party.
Before that. Before the bachelor party, when he was in the Saved by the Bell days, there was a misunderstanding with him.
And Cass.
No, the teenage girls. There was there was an allegation of definitely statutory. They were
they were underage too.
I think he was 18 and they were like 16 or 17.
And he put the touch on them.
Well, I mean, they was going to get some AC Slater, and he was giving it up because that's what Steve was doing.
Hey, I don't give a damn if he was Marvin Gaye.
Hey,
don't touch no young girls.
Dan Schneider wasn't even involved in that production.
Oh God, I can't wait to talk about that. You're gonna have to lead the charge on the Dan Snyder stuff, man, because we gotta.
Oh, did he do something? Did he do something new? Are they on him?
Nothing new.
Are they on him again?
The old stuff. Just the old stuff. What's his name from Head of the Class? The portly gentleman from Head of the Class.
So
his real name is Dan Schneider. He does a lot of productions for Nickelodeon, Frank.
Didn't do wasn't he involved with some kiddie porn?
That's what we're talking about. He was putting a real touch on people.
Yeah, he's pretty much every one of his actresses has eventually complained that he tried to do something or did. And like, oh, in fact, that was it. Brittany's little sister. There was still that claim that perhaps he's the dad of that baby she had when she was 17. So
you talk about Zoe 101, that girl. What was her name?
Jamie Lynn Spears.
Lynn Spears.
Yeah. So who knows about any of that's true? But that was the story.
I'm the father of that baby.
I'm that baby, Pappy.
Like, damn it, Dennis, leave those girls alone, you fat bastard.
Yeah. Dennis. I love that show, too. Head of the Class was great. But
again, Head of the Class was another one of those shows. It was supposed to be teenagers, and they were all grown. Yeah, they were all grown.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't think like that 35-year-old dude from New York was really a 17-year-old?
Hey, yeah.
The leather jacket wearing brother.
Yeah, exactly. All those guys are producers now. They show up, you see them.
Yeah, I know Brian
a lot of stuff.
Brian Robbins did a lot.
He did a lot of stuff. I remember he was on like Smallville and all that. He was in that CW world in the beginning, and he was doing a lot of work. And matter of fact, didn't he get somebody? He married somebody.
Oh, really?
I think, was it on the show? Wasn't he with like Robin Givens for a while, like in real life? I could be making this up.
I don't know.
She after the Tyson thing, she went all over the place. So who knows?
Because I know she
kind of lost track. There was that time where we all thought she was a bitch.
She dated Howard Stern for real for a while. Like after he was divorced, and he went through a phase where he was dating Robin Givens, and they were like a real couple, like for real. They kept that shit on the super DL.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I thought more he'd have a thing for the Robin that he worked with.
I say he's got Robin in the morning and different Robin at night. He's like Batman in the 70s, dude. It's not good.
I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. Man.
So who did you like better? Did you like,
what are you talking about?
Willis.
Howard Hessman?
Oh,
man, Dr. Johnny Fever over the Irish dude?
Yeah.
Billy Corrigan?
no, that's the dude from the Smashing Pumpkins. It was Billy Conlon.
Billy Conlon.
Billy Conlon.
Yeah. Billy Conlon. Yeah,
I like things about both of them.
Billy Connolly is funny, but he's a dirty comedian. You know, they had to PG him up for TV. It didn't work as well. You know, Howard Hessman was a TV guy to begin with, and it was just like somebody took the sunglasses off of Johnny Fever and realized he could actually teach classes by that point.
I'm not sure if I talked about this before, but he is looking very old. I was watching one of those Hallmark Channel, one of those Hallmark Channel Christmas movies because I love those movies. They are so bad, but and he was in one, and he's looking pretty old. So
well, again, he was 35 in 1978. He had to be born in the 40s.
Yeah.
That's a dude that's 70-something right now.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, that's the thing about TV. You're forever immortalized.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm thinking about the class.
Bringing it back to Saved by the Bell. 2 out of the 3 girls are gorgeous to this day,
without a doubt.
Who got ugly?
Lark Voorhees.
Yeah.
She actually lost. Yeah, she lost her shit, like mentally. She had some issues going on with her boyfriend or husband or whoever he was, and her mother, and there was a whole thing going on. And I think a lot of drinking and drugs was involved with mental instability. And
she didn't have time to worry about her looks at that point.
Yeah, she just really let herself go.
Yeah, but I saw the interview with
Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Oh, smoking.
Good.
Smoking. Elizabeth
Berkley still held her shit together. Leah Remini still looks good after all the Scientology stuff.
Well, Scientology doesn't do anything to you except
Tori Spelling, not so good.
Yeah.
Well, Tori Spelling was never all that attractive. She was attractive enough for her dad to put her on TV, surrounded by pretty girls, but not enough to run her own show. You know.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that.
Well, what about that's totally Tori? That wasn't that show.
You know what? It might be.
I know she was doing something. She got a husband, and she's doing reality TV or something. But
well, again, produced by. At the end says, you know, like if we were produced by Aaron Spelling, we could have a show that runs for 14 or 15 years too. You know?
Yeah, well, hey, man, it was good, man. But I guess her career died after her dad did.
Oh,
and sorry, Oreo. I got the
plus that whole reality thing of that, like there was all those family shows. There was the Hulk Hogan show, the Ozzy show, and they kind of played it out by doing too many.
Yeah. Well, because it was cheap programming and they could get a lot of views and stuff like that.
Well, then they discovered Kardashians and had to go off in that direction. You know, it went from normal weird people to rich bitches all the time.
Yeah, I'll never.
I really got nothing to say about the Kardashians. You know, I got nothing negative or positive to say about it. I know the one girl tried to do a Pepsi commercial and they pulled it off. Because I guess you can stop police violence with a Pepsi can. I guess that was a good idea.
The good Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King said.
Martin Luther King said that
in his speech. Yes,
I have a Pepsi.
They could have just.
He walked up to me and punched me in my chest. And said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were somebody else."
They could just show that suicidal tendencies. That all he wanted was a Pepsi. There's the same moral he was trying to give us in 1985. Yeah. Pepsi saves everything.
I just feel like with all of them, and again, this is where we're venturing a little off track here, but their whole thing that they got. the Kardashians.
Okay.
Like with the whole thing, just famous for being famous, not for really doing anything.
It all stems from Ray J's penis.
Well, I mean, to hear Ray J say it, it was, yeah, like you made that comment. He actually put a song out there in the world, and there is a produced music out in the world where he's still talking about that. And I'm like, that's sad.
Yeah.
I mean, let her do that. Now, I understand Ray J's making his little behind-the-scenes money because I guess he's been heavily involved with producing too, with like a lot of those reality shows and stuff like that. However, and he always knew something with his sister. It's a weird Jamie Cersei Lannister thing they got going on. I think he smashed Brandy. I'm just saying.
You heard it here first. Please edit that, because that is what they call libel.
That's my thought. Can't be held liable for my thought.
We're going to J. Jonah Jameson you and go, it's slander. In print, it's libel. So this is spoken word. This is slander. Yeah.
My bad. I'm sorry. It's slander.
Yeah. Was that J.K. Simmons?
J.K. Simmons. Was that Spider-Man or Spider-Man 2?
Probably the first one.
Yeah.
I read a thing online today where people are petitioning for Vince McMahon to be J. Jonah Jameson in a future Spy. I said, that kind. Listen to it in your head. It works. Parker.
But if you look at it,
yeah, he's too
old.
Well, he's old now. He's shriveling up. He can stop doing the duck walk, and he'd be all right for that. He wouldn't do it though. Unless Spider-Man gets in the ring at WrestleMania, I'm not doing it.
Well, I mean, they did have Randy Macho Man Savage, so
they had RoboCop in the WCW for a while. Yeah. I was watching the old. Speaking of all the deaths and things we were talking about, I was watching an old WCW, and it was like everybody on the screen right now is dead. Like, holy crap, that's depressing. The show was only 20 years old.
Oh.
It's like, it was Eddie Guerrero and Macho Man and Elizabeth and He Who Shall Not Be Named that they don't talk about anymore was on there, and it's like
the Crippler. I believe we can say the Crippler.
There you go. And it's like, wow, all of these people, and Bobby Heenan, who's like near death.
You can't say where he's from. You can't say the Canadian Crippler because then you know exactly who we're talking about.
Yeah, there you go.
And everyone died tragically too, except Heenan.
Yeah, well, he's not doing well either. It's like, he's fucked up.
Heenan's not dead?
No,
he's close.
So much better.
Close. But it was also like, it was Dusty Rhodes, and it was like all these people like, wow, everybody's dead.
Dusty Rhodes.
But Lex Luger's alive. What the fuck?
But he's so skinny.
Oh, I know. He looks weird. He's deflated.
Like yeah.
Well, he's not jacked up on whatever anymore. So everything's like balloons that just deflate.
Yeah. He should still look like some type of.
He stopped the steroids and kept the cocaine. That's not a good such.
Damn.
Well, bringing this show down.
Yeah, that's say he killed Miss Elizabeth. It's not cool.
Yeah,
never convicted.
That's right. What? Nobody ever gets convicted, man. Come on.
I got convicted for that. It was him and Miss Elizabeth alone in the hotel room, and she ended up dead, and nobody knows why. And they were like, I don't know, she's dead. What do you mean you don't know?
If that would have been Booker T, he would have been under the jail.
Oh, yeah.
Say that.
Five-time WCW champion.
You know what?
From Houston, Texas.
Funny as hell.
There's been a Rooney.
That fight between Booker T and Stone Cold when they fight inside of that grocery store, that is so good.
It was racist.
It was racist. It really was.
It was racist.
Fucking
I don't even want to talk about it.
You got hit with every black.
Man, come on. I was upset with Booker T. I was upset with Stone Cold. Yeah. I was upset with WWE as a staff, a record label, and as a crew. Yeah, and if you're down with WWE, fuck you too.
Just for that weekend.
They were pretty a lot more open about their racism in the 90s. Yeah. Like that was right around the same time as McMahon walked up and said, "John Cena, my N-word, how's it going?" And everybody's like, "Did he just say that?" Because he didn't say the N-word. He said like, what the fuck? You're not allowed to say that, old man.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's worse.
It got real meta for you for a second.
It really did.
All right, getting back on track. Ralphie, what was your favorite episode of Saved by the Bell?
The fight. My favorite episode is the fight where Zach and Slater actually fight over a girl, the new girl that comes to school, who's seen in that episode only and never again. But it was very poignant because sometimes boys fight over girls, and Belding steps in, makes everything better.
I like mine was when Belding told Slater to shoot your hopes and dreams, and by the time he realized he went to basketball, the game was
over. Shoot your hopes and dreams.
No, I'm kidding. That wasn't my favorite. But no, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I still think they took a lot of their inspiration from a 3-page Archie stories, because you can substitute all those characters straight in and out. Like, oh, it was Archie, Reggie, and Mr. Weatherby? What was going on?
And Jughead.
And Jughead for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing is there's one extra chick, so I guess Jessie has to be Cheryl Blossom.
Or
Cheryl was a new thing at that time, so. You know.
Betty and Veronica are interchangeable with Kelly and excuse me, and Elizabeth Berkley, but I think Josie could possibly be.
Because you would have to say Lisa was more Veronica. She was the one that was always shopping, and rich, and stuff like that. She was the rich girl.
Jessie would be Betty, yeah. So that leaves
Jessie's Betty, but Kelly's more of a Betty because she's
because she was the popular girl. She was
kind of.
She wasn't as useful or intelligent though. So she was. They mashed the girls up a little bit.
When Zach thought he was like an entertainer, and they had him looking like Vanilla Ice, and he was like, "What am I doing? This is me."
Oh yeah, that was a good episode.
I remember that one.
I like when they was like, I like the campy stuff. I mean, that's what brought me in was the really campy stuff. But then when they tried to do a little bit more,
like the drinking and driving episode.
The drinking and driving episode, that was a very good episode. And I'm saying going further because there's whenever time you're on a good run, you get one cast member that thinks they're a little bit better and
thinks their shit doesn't stink.
Right. So for Jessie to finally make that turn and be like, she was leaving the show to go pursue other things because she always thought she was a more accomplished actress.
Is that right?
Yeah. So then they had to.
With one of the producers.
She had to. They left the show. She left the show abruptly, and they just replaced her with some chick named Tori, who had a twin sister, if I'm not mistaken.
Triplets.
There was 3 of them.
Yeah.
There was 3 bitches that looked like that.
Yeah. Wow. They were triplets.
But they still tried to put her in, and even though she was a little more, but it was still like the same. They were trying to just.
Yeah, but she was more of a tough girl, though. Tori was. And from the stories that I've heard, that there were contract disputes with Elizabeth Berkley and with what's her name, with Kelly.
Yeah,
so they brought in Tori.
Yeah, they had already decided to not be on the show because it was going to be canceled, and then they renewed it again. Suddenly, it was one of those deals.
But then they brought them back for the graduation because I remember when they graduated, they brought everybody back to graduate.
Yeah. And they graduated twice.
Yes, I mean they weren't angry; they were just off contract.
Yeah, it was weird. They had like 2 senior years, but what I think was in the middle of their senior year was the Malibu Beach shit. Something weird like that happened where they had like the final season, like Frank said.
I remember that they graduated the same year that 90210 kids graduated.
Yeah. And
the 90210 kids also did like 2 years at like the 10th grade or 11th grade or something like that. There was 2, because it was like these shows didn't start at the exact same time, but they both graduated in 93.
And that's funny too. What school do they go to when they went to college in 90210? California University.
Yeah.
I can't remember the Saved by the Bell college years. College though.
I'm pretty sure
may have been the same thing. California University.
Southern California U. Okay. Trivia. What was the name of the rival high school to Bayside?
Valley.
Valley.
Yeah. Valley was the Army-O to Fairfield High's Bayside.
And they always had, what was it? Was it a goat? What was a mascot that they kidnapped?
Bulldog.
Was it a bulldog?
Yeah.
Why am I thinking a goat?
They did that on Happy Days. They kidnapped a goat.
No, is that what it was?
Yeah, there was their
because then they kidnapped which was Screech, right?
Screech was the tiger.
The tiger.
And the name of that episode was called Hold That Tiger.
I did not know that.
Yeah. But there was a secret cheer.
Wild.
Secret cheer. Screech was the secret at the end of the secret cheer, and he was supposed to do some gymnastics and all that. But in the meantime, there was a whole rivalry between Valley and Bayside. They were doing pranks. They had a huge prank board thing. They stole the bulldog. And yada yada yada.
Did they ever have an episode where the hot girl from Valley and the cool kid from? Did they ever do like a one of those Romeo and Juliet type episode?
You know what? That would have been good.
I think they missed an opportunity there. I do remember another episode where Zach hooked up with Slater's sister, and they found out that AC stood for Albert Clifford.
That was on a different episode, but
that was when Slater's ex-girlfriend from back in the day, because Slater was an Army brat, right? So he went from
school to school to school, but then they finally.
And who was the girl who played her? Because I remember she was cute. And did Zach like her? I feel like it was always
Zach was always scheming to get every chick. Slater's sister, Slater's ex-girlfriend, and that was the one with the love machine where it found out that they
got the love machine.
They were compatible, and Slater was pissed, and then so was
it all ends in like a new reunion movie with him actually just banging Slater. You know, that's the final generation.
Oh yeah.
Then in 2020,
it's about time
I suppose that would be the modernization. You know, he would have to be going for everyone. Oh, that's just correct. Okay, I'm not sure we need to watch that when we're 14, though. You know, just hang on to that till later.
But I'll tell you, this episode shouldn't have broken my heart, but it kind of did. The one where Screech's heart got smashed when Lisa and Zach kissed. And he saw that happen.
Yeah.
But that's on him, though. He pursued her the whole time.
And she never gave him any inkling, like, you can like me all you want, but I will never like you.
Yeah, exactly. She made that known every episode. He always came at her, and he always got shut down.
Again, like I said, in real life, I want to say that they were each other's first. Like Mark Paul and Lark Voorhees. That was like, they were their first love, first kiss.
Lark, if you're listening, if you're listening, call us and let us know. Give us the dirt.
So in the Where Are They Now segment of Saved by the Bell,
yes,
Mark Paul Gosselaar, I know he was on Fox's Pitch. I don't know if that show got renewed for season 2 or not.
Hope so. Looked good.
It looked good. Mario Lopez, I believe, is
still on Extra.
Still
hosting all kinds of shit. Still working.
Dustin Diamond, stand-up? Maybe is he still doing stand-up?
I think he might be in jail.
Is he in jail?
Yeah, I think he might still be in jail from that stabbing at Christmas.
Shit,
2 years ago.
Recently. Yeah.
But hoping for the best for you because we love you.
Tiffany dropped an Amber, so she's Tiffany Thiessen.
TT.
She's still on TV. She's on a show right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's doing something. I don't know what it is. Elizabeth Berkley still working. Lark Voorhees not. Dennis Haskin.
All right, so
he popped up on something recently, right?
I listen to a lot of podcasts, and one of those is exclusively about Saved by the Bell, and I hear that he's around Hollywood doing stuff. He will do an appearance. He will do the laugh. He will be Mr. Belding for you.
You will be Mr. Bay.
We can.
Hey! What is going on here?
Yeah. And he pops up. He'll be out at the bar. He'll take pictures with young chicks.
And he's real fat now, right? He's like fat. Okay, man.
He's living his life. He's a middle-aged man. Actually,
he's an old man now. We're middle-aged.
Damn it. That really is some reality.
It's like, again, he was a middle-aged man when we were teenagers like they were. So.
Yeah, true that.
I think that overall, I feel like a lot of for a cookie cutter show that Saved by the Bell was, for the cast and budding celebrities who all got a little shine on this little show on NBC that ran up against literally no competition, so they were able to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Ultimately, even when they went to the college years, what was his name? Mike Golick.
Yeah, Mike Golick.
He was on that show.
Yeah.
And
he was a football player.
What they played for the Niners?
Played for the Niners because he would say it in the show.
And then who were the girls? There were some other girls on it. I remember the one girl, she was in Independence Day. I can't remember what else.
Oh, that's right.
And it was Kelly and there was another girl, right?
Yep. Couldn't tell you.
Damn. Ron Simmons. Damn. But anyway, with that being said, I mean, you got a lot from this little show that ran, 4 seasons?
Basically 4 seasons.
Even if you count Good Morning, Miss Bliss?
5 or 6. They did 88 episodes of either 86 or 88 episodes of Saved by the Bell proper. And it still holds a place in my heart. I will continue to watch it. My kids love it. And my kids' age range is 20 to 8. So
I want to ask you this. Do you think Saved by the Shell can...
I like that show too.
Saved by the Bell could be classified as a timeless show?
No, it's so 90s.
So you think it's too dated to be timeless?
It's too dated to be timeless, but
I feel like a show can be timeless if generation after generation can still relate to the things that these kids were going through.
And none of those plots are relatable. All that shit that they did, it is impossible for you to scheme as much as Zach did. It is impossible for you to gain mental powers.
I'm not going to say it wasn't over the top. But with that being said, it was a fucking entertaining, feel-good, about-yourself show.
True that.
It wasn't that heavy, and even when they did try to get heavy, they still kept it light.
By that rationale, I will call it a timeless show. You heard it here first. Saved by the Bell, timeless.
That sounds like that's all we got. Frank?
All right, sounds good to me. All right, and with that, we'll wrap up another episode of Retronerds 252. This is, what the hell are we doing next week? I don't even know. So I'll just put in that, what the hell do we usually say? Now I got a blank. I did a cool Water Kurt move, man. Check us out on the website and so much and so forth and all that good stuff.
Yeah, find us and like us on Facebook, YouTube, and stuff.
Push those buttons and things
and
stuff and all those good stuff.
You can go ahead and look us up at retronerds252.com.
We got the .com, not the .org or the .net, but we got the .com, son.
There you go. We have no Grizz, but we have .com.
Love that show. It's a great show.
So for Frank G and Ralphie D, I am Cool Water Kurt saying, time out. Thank you.
You know what? You were supposed to
but I think you was gonna.
I stayed. You stayed too. You were supposed to move.
I had none. All right, man.
We'll hit the still frame there. It can run for we'll put a 30 minutes of that. See how long people stay.
Why is this show 82 minutes?
Oh, I got a show note for you, Frank. I can't remember which one of the last G.I. Joe episodes it was, but you put a very long clip in a G.I. Joe episode about the opening chase scene of Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just saying that, I mean, all of the G.I. Joe clips together was not as long as we said one off comfort. You were talking about the Pointer Sisters or
Yeah, there was just no good place to cut
Sister Sledge.
Sister Sledge, okay, right.
It was between Sister Sledge and it was like the what is it? The
Neutron dance.
And then Frank rolled whole fucking
the clip with the where the GI Joe with Serpentor was pretty long too. It was like a 3-minute intro of Serpentor in there as well, so they're pretty long. But since we're not getting busted for copyright anymore, since they're not paying us either way, I can use as many minutes of whatever I could put we could put all of Beverly Hills Cop in the center of the next episode and see how many people watch then.
All right. Hey, the next episode then is going to be all Andrew Dice Clay.
I actually thought that was kind of almost like it was almost a Family Guy joke, and that it went on so far it became comical that I hadn't yet cut away.
yeah. I was like, and then it came all the way to the end where it was like, freeze! Oh, Foley! I was like, damn, Frank!
Well, I thought there's probably a lot of people who have never seen that because it's such an obscure film.
Exactly. It's only the movie that launched Eddie Murphy's career.
3-parter, Ford Fairlane. Let's watch it.
252.
Adonis, pull yourself together.